Game time decisions. Happy to be here with everybody on a Friday night. Kevin Walsh and Gabriel Morency. And we have got plenty of games to break down, but we are now a little less than 24 hours removed from some big decisions made yesterday in the National Football League, Gabe, including one that looks like it might have divided the room a little bit in Los Angeles.
Yeah, divided my room here. I got to tell you that, and not in a good way. Could you have had a less convincing? Yeah, I look forward to working with you, especially coming from the most enthusiastic coach in the National Football League.
Correct.
Sean McVay wakes up in the morning. What a beautiful day! What's for breakfast? Right? Yeah, I'm looking forward to working with you. Yeah. Correct. You enjoy yourself tonight. Like I got to go now. It was like I got to go. I got to go deal with something. And they're selling it like no, everybody was on board. But listen, there's a lot of stuff we can get to. We got a busy night tonight, Kevin. I see that Brett Michaels is rocking the stage right now with the National Football League draft. He's from the Pittsburgh area, so that's why he's here right now. So they got a little pre-show going on. But I was just thinking, Kevin, imagine being a fan of the Buffalo Bills, and you can only go to the draft one day. So like you go to Thursday, no pick.
Tough scene. That's how it goes.
But how about
they traded
this?
Back 100 times.
Yeah, 3 times. 3 times. This is amazing to me, though. 8 teams, guys, did not make a pick in the draft yet. 8 teams have not made a pick in the draft, Kevin. It's absolutely wild and, like, unheard of.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Jets had 3 picks. The Browns had 2 picks. The Chiefs had 2 picks. It was a lot of that we saw yesterday. A lot of these teams kind of occupying these top spots there through different trades. But just quickly on the Simpson thing, for anybody who kind of didn't see this, the thing about Ty Simpson getting drafted to the Rams is obviously it's not what the expectations were. It wasn't just about him going to Arizona, but people were unsure if he was a round 1 talent. And you saw the reactions from McVay were muted, relatively speaking. And then the Albert Breer tweet comes out. That, to me, is a bombshell that you can't ignore. Because all these reporters now are, listen, I know there's a lot of NFL conversations about who does what for who and who are friends in NFL relationships with reporters, okay? I get that. And a lot of people are now covering up, oh, McVay knew, McVay's being respectful to Stafford. Stupidest thing I've ever heard. But the Albert Breer tweet, Gabe, that Les Snead told Ty Simpson's father, his good friend, Ty should enter into the NFL. Obviously, this was a Les Snead pick. Obviously, this wasn't a Sean McVay pick. And it creates tension that the Super Bowl favorites do not need. They should have had a phenomenal night, Gabe, picking 13th overall, and instead, they've been doing damage control for 24 hours.
And you know now the residual effects of this, and as you stated, there's going to be consequences after the fact. Now there's already talk about Matthew Stafford getting a contract extension.
Yeah.
Now they're like, okay, so he's basically, and he's a wily vet that knows how to make money, Kevin. Because now he'll put them on the spot. All right, I'm not going anywhere, so let's talk about my money now, my contract. Wow, we just drafted. Yeah, but you just said that was nothing, right? You're like, no, right?
Yeah.
It causes issues. Not to mention other guys on the team going, you got to be kidding me. The Super Bowl is in Los Angeles this year. How does this help us right now?
Yes.
Hey, how does this help us right now? And everyone on the team is like, I won't even be here by the time this guy plays. I wonder if Sean McVay will be the coach. Listen, I'm not naive enough to believe that Sean McVay got surprised, like wasn't told.
Correct.
Right? But doesn't mean that he was happy about it.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Yeah.
Word is he wanted Lemon bad. He was like, we're going with Mekhi Lemon. He wanted a wide receiver because he knows, Kevin, yeah, we can win the Super Bowl because now, like, you know, now
yes.
Snead went ahead. The father relationship. 2 things, in my opinion, about this is, number one, fine. You like Ty Simpson that much. And I believe in what Adam Schefter said because Dan Orlovsky's taking the victory lap today. And Schefter came on and said, listen, they liked them. And I always say it, Kevin, it only takes one. They liked them. And Schefter said, I've been speaking to people around the league. Not one person was taking this guy in the first round. So my question is.
Meanwhile, Dan Orlovsky's pretending, he was going the next pick.
Yeah.
He was going the next pick right after that.
No. Schefter came on and sort of just dropped the rein. Then he sort of, said it in a nice tone. Didn't want to, but he basically said, well, I spoke to people and no one was taking him. Like they basically said, no one was going to take him in the first round.
Yeah.
Yet, so if the Rams are so smart, but this is the problem I have here, and I'll get to this part too. I don't understand, Kevin, why they didn't trade down then. And say, all right, listen, dude. Like if finally in the war room, and we talk about like the disagreements, finally in the war room, somebody says, all right, you win. You're the general manager. You're going to do what you want to do. You win, but don't tell me you're doing this at 13. Tell me we're getting something out of this. Because I'll tell you right now, nobody's taking this kid right now. And that had to have come up. Like, it's like, fine, we take him, but guys, like, say what you will about the Buffalo Bills. I don't love it, but the Bills said we didn't like the first-round talent, whatever. We were comfortable dropping back.
Yeah.
The thing is, the Rams had players that they like, Kevin, right? The only thing I can say about this on the back end of this, and I'll throw it back to you, is that we almost have to give Snead the benefit of the doubt.
No,
it
I don't
sucks.
think
I don't like it.
After finding out the relationship with Simpson's dad, I don't think we do. That's where it changes for me. I think we don't have to give him the benefit. And he's an
Let me ask you something. Yeah. What's worse, Rossini sleeping with a coach, or a general manager being buddies with somebody's father and telling him we're going to take your son?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the Rossini thing. I mean, I think you're probably being a little tongue, but this is the interesting thing, right? There are a couple of organizations that, and again, I understand why reporters do these things. There was a reporter, Gabe, who said this today about Kansas City trading up for Mansour Delaney. CBs are hard to find in Kansas City's eyes. They just traded Trent McDuffie.
They just had one.
They just traded Trent McDuffie. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? But Kansas City did something.
For the record, that
none
was the
of
only
their
pick
fans.
I got right. Delaying to KC was the only one.
So if anything, A+ pick from Gabe. A+ pick from Gabe. He loved that pick.
It was a weird top 10, but I was like, wow.
But Gabe, did you think they needed to get up to 6 to draft Mansour Delaney?
No, and that's the Rams. That's the Rams coming back now, sort of saying, well, we got McDuffie, which would have been better than anyone we would have gotten in the first round. Yeah, but you could have got McDuffie and somebody else who would have helped the football
someone that
team.
helps you. And let me just say this about Makai Lemon, Gabe. Devontae Adams is older, and Puka Nacua has off-field issues all of a sudden.
Head case.
They might need Makai Lemon next year more than they need Ty Simpson or the year after that.
Devontae Adams disappeared at the end of the year last year. He got old fast. Yeah. He's not getting any younger.
No.
Not getting any younger. Listen, but as I was stating, number one, and people out there, you can't have it both ways. You can't rip the Atlanta Falcons for this and then say the Rams are geniuses. Right?
I agree.
I saw some people on panels today talking about, well, you know what? It's just brilliant how they set up the future. It's like, wow, you all ripped the crap. And I tell you what, Matt Stafford's a hell of a lot better than Kirk Cousins is.
Yeah, we had a moment where I'll never forget when Daniel Jones got paid by the Giants. And you know what everybody ran to say? They can get out of this contract pretty quickly. Guess what? It's a bad contract, okay? When you sign Ty Simpson and you leak to reporters, we hope he never plays. When you leak, we hope he never plays. It's a bad pick.
I like the Sean McVay. We can go on and on, but I like the Sean McVay. Well, he'll compete with Stetson Bennett.
Stetson Bennett? He brought up Jimmy Garoppolo, who might retire.
A 30-year-old scrub backup. McVay basically sees you at the same level. Well, we'll compete with Stetson Bennett.
Oh, we'll get the NBA on the board after the break. I have one more draft thing, and then I promise we'll get to the picks. We have a lot of time. We'll get to all the picks. But there was one other thing that really just kind of blew my mind. Look, it was a new draft format, Gabe, 8 minutes per pick. And things are happening, fast, So
should be 5.
The Steelers apparently are going to ask for it to go back to about 20.
Oh, yeah.
Because they call Makai Lemon. They're like, Dallas isn't taking a receiver. Get him on the horn. We're picking you. And there's another reporter who goes, league might need to investigate this. It got tipped. Guys, we all are watching the same draft. It said Makai Lemon best available for 5 straight picks. If nobody leaked anything to Philly, they knew that they needed to go get Lemon before somebody else did. Pittsburgh is insane for not going and getting him themselves. The Eagles didn't leak anything, Gabe. Everybody knew Lemon was the guy falling.
Once again, the Eagles step up and just do what they have to do to get the player that they wanted.
Yeah.
For people that don't know the context of it, so Lemon's on the phone. So basically the way it works, these teams call the player like right before, right? And basically tell them, all right, listen, we're about to take you in a couple of minutes here. So like when you get the reaction, they already all know. He's on the phone with them. And then in come the Eagles. in come the Eagles. Once again, pulling the trigger with a deal with the Dallas Cowboys, which I'm not really comfortable with personally. Whatever, it is what it is. In the modern NFL, they don't seem to have a problem with it. Like you look at the Buffalo Bills, all 3 of their trades were with AFC teams, 2 of which are good and rivals of yours. So I'm of the belief that it's like, oh, you like this guy here. Huh? Well, that's not my problem. You know what I mean? Go trade with someone else. I'm not going to help you within a division. Just to bring it up, the Buffalo Bills traded their 12th pick in the National Football League draft once to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs took Patrick Mahomes. All right?
I know.
This is a family program.
I saw with the Patriots
thing. It's a family program. It's like, do you want to share your wife too? You're like, all right, what's next? You know what I'm saying? You want to invite the team over? You know what I mean? I sometimes wonder if Brandon Beane wakes up in a day. I wonder how I can help the Patriots and the Texans out. The Texans aren't a threat to me at all. The Texans aren't good. You know what I mean? I'm dead serious. Before, we're talking about the buddy system in the NFL. You saw before, Buffalo and Carolina were this, right? It was basically all right, Buffalo, Carolina. I don't mind, Kevin. You want to make an open deal with the Carolina Panthers? Go ahead. I don't care. Trade our next 3 picks to them, all right? I don't care. You want to make a trade with the Minnesota Vikings? God bless you, Brandon. Good move. Hey, we got an extra 4th round out of this. Good for you. You trade me with the New England Patriots. Dude, okay, so I just brought up the Mahomes thing, Kevin. I know it's so funny, but it's sad.
Well, they do only trade with AFC contenders. They only trade with AFC.
That was Xavier Worthy. They're like, we don't like Xavier Worthy anyway, so we're not going to take him. Yeah, but it doesn't mean you have to let the Chiefs get him because they like him. So we don't want him, so it doesn't matter to us. We might as well get an extra pick out of this. We took Keon Coleman. Xavier Worthy scores a winning touchdown against us after. I'm like, you can't make this up. Right? So now Bean again. So whoever they take 35th, fine. We compare this to whoever the hell the Texans, the Patriots, and God, no, I can't even keep up with all
the Titans. I think were the other one.
Titans, the
Titans might be good this year now. Titans might.
Right. So Bean, your player better be better than the 3 other players. That's all I'm saying. Because you're 0 for so far. For the record, Trey White's pretty good. So the Bills took Trey White. All right. The Chiefs got Mahomes. They won that battle. Then we did it again with the Chiefs. Xavier Worthy, Keon Coleman. All right.
Nobody's happy.
Dude, stop doing this.
Yeah. Nobody. I don't think it's a great point. I know with the Chiefs thing, but I saw it was a great tweet by you. You're like, if New England wants someone, how is that my problem? And they just do it. And that was the thing I said with Makai Lemon. Dallas might end up with this George Pickens trade request fall. Just draft Makai Lemon And now you have all the leverage in the world in the George Pickens thing.
The New York Giants did this with Michael Parsons.
Yeah.
They could have had their new Lawrence Taylor. They had character concerns because he got into a fight in a cafeteria once in high school. And, instead, Kevin, they took Kadarius Toney. Who is he in jail now? Like, I don't know. Like, what's Kadarius Toney doing?
A rapper, maybe? He might be rapping. I'm not
positive. He's at a poker game in Miami somewhere.
It's possible.
All right.
Are you? I'll just also. Well, listen. I knew. When the Bills do get on the clock, if they don't stop trading back,
it's like the
you'll
Yankees
be excited.
and the Red Sox. So put it in those terms. Yankees, Red Sox.
Yeah.
If they're going to make a trade, Kevin, and I know it's like incredibly rare, but they have. It's one of those, we'll trade you the 79th pick for the 82nd pick. And don't tell anyone we did this and we were seen together. Like, you know what I mean? You're not going to be like, oh, yeah, I hear you guys really like that McDonald kid at LSU. Hey, one of those top pitchers, huh? Yeah. Why don't we do a deal? So I sometimes wonder if these teams even care. But anyways, I digress as a Bills fan. And there's already rumors they're shopping the 35th pick now.
They probably are. I'll just say I made 2 bets for today. They've both moved. I made sure to tweet these out because that's what happens on day 2 of the draft. I took McNeil Warren to go 33 at 7-1. On that same book, it's plus 175. If I'm being honest, and I try not to be cynical, I feel like there's no chance he actually goes 33. I feel like this will blow up in my face. And then I took Carson Beck to go in round 2 at plus 150. That looks to be moving to, let's see, minus 300. That I actually think I will win. But
I like your play.
Quarterbacks get crazy.
Play. You know what? I was thinking about this, too. I was like, Lynch is a safety. Was a safety. You know what I mean?
They need safety.
This kid from Toledo is good, guys. Like, I think he's one of these steals here right now. So the draft resumes in 41 minutes. I put a play in here, Kevin. I don't know if you're going to agree with this or not, but I went over 38.5 with McCoy. Over 38.5. So basically, I got 6 spots to work with here, Kevin. And quite frankly, I think Hood goes before him.
I agree.
I think Hood's going to end up, and Hood's 40.5. So it's minus 200 now. It's moving. Not a lot of wiggle room, right? We're already in a 33. Like, so you put in context second round. But it's like, well, we're already at 33. You got the safety from Toledo. Denzel Boston's got to be coming up the board here soon, too.
Hood. No, I like that play. We'll get to all the games tonight after the break on SportsGrid.
They do nothing fancy, the Philadelphia Flyers. There's nothing like, oh my God, like they basically, Kevin, can like hand you their playbook before the game. Like seriously. They can say, yeah, this is what we're going to do. These are our lines, and this is how we're going to match up against you. Like, you know it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and you know it. There's nothing you can do about it.
Game time decisions only on SportsGrid.
The New York Knickerbockers are NBA champions. Da 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 da. Canyon of Heroes, parade, convertibles, hot chicks in Knick jerseys. The Knicks finally get over the hump and win an NBA title. And there's me, and there's Jalen Brunson.
The Craig Carden Show. Only on SportsGrid.
I don't get it, man. Maybe this is more of a Kalshi poly market conversation to jump in on the prediction markets. But to me, this is the spot that I would roll with the Rays, man. I think they're undervalued every year, and I think they're undervalued this year again. Look, the Yankees should be the favorite. They're the best team on paper. Baltimore, Toronto, and Boston? Donnie, are they that much better than Tampa Bay? What am I missing here?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Do you think technology and those earpieces, again, when it comes to the development of the quarterbacks, is hurt the game?
The development of the quarterback position is getting worse and worse and worse because you don't see live action, you don't get game time experience, and you're going to have to develop in a slower way. And to me, if you don't have the people around you, it's going to be a tough road to be able to play the game.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
right here on SportsGrid. Let's go to the NBA, where, by the way, still, nobody has covered in a loss. It is wild. One of these Knicks-Hawks games is, just dying to land the other way. Like, Knicks by 1, Hawks cover the 1.5, but it's not happening. Dog day yesterday in the association. I know you had to be pumped about the Raptors. Scotty Barnes, by the way, don't look now, leading that series in assists. I need you to stop asking quickly to get healthy. Does he help? Yes, but not me, because I need Barnes to have the ball every possession, Gabe. I need him far away from this series.
Yeah, with all the talk of the NFL draft last night when we squeezed in the NBA picks, we actually swept the board.
You did. Yeah.
We went with all 3 home teams. But the NHL wasn't as successful. So it's a grind in the playoffs, especially if you're trying to, if you bet every game in both leagues, etc. But, yeah, big win for the Raptors last night. It's now official, Kevin. Emmanuel Quickley, this is breaking news right before we came on the air here tonight. Emmanuel Quickley is out for the rest of the series.
Oh, is it really?
He will not be coming back. He re-aggravated his injury, trying to come back. It's officially announced he's out. But
so bad for him, good for me.
So they stepped up last night, Kevin, and I tell you, a win can do a lot for their confidence, right? And you knew this coming in, that Toronto's not an easy place to play in the playoffs. You saw the building was rocking last night. The Raptors suddenly are hitting 3-point shots at home. Suddenly we got ourselves a series. Cleveland's going to throw the kitchen sink at them on Sunday, but Raptors responded. Tell you what, the T-Wolves, this looks like pretty serious, Kevin, but looking ahead to tonight, I've been following the Wembanyama stuff all day, and so he's going through the concussion protocol process, right? And to go through, he's got to go through a bunch of steps. So I don't know, basically they watch him on a bike and, jump some rope and seriously, there's sort of this 10-step program you got to go through to show, all right, you didn't, then they evaluate you after, etc. So he's only, today was the first day, guys, he got to live contact drills. I don't think he's playing, Kevin.
I don't either.
I don't think he's playing. And honestly, too, the Spurs err on the side of caution when it comes to Wembanyama. And dude, they play again, Sunday or whatever it is? It's Sunday, Monday, whatever, the NBA,
Yeah, Sunday.
Yeah, so they play again Sunday. He'll be fine by Sunday. I don't think he plays. I personally don't think he's going to play in this basketball game. And it'll be curious. Do you think is it already baked into the number, and/or is there going to be a bigger swing after when it's official? I saw today people were talking, odds makers were saying that Wembanyama's worth 3 points to the point spread.
Which is a lot, but also doesn't feel like enough. That's kind of how these things work with point spreads. I will just say, though,
they were 12-6 without him, though, this year, right? So they have won without him.
Yeah.
They didn't play. They were used to playing without him.
I actually was a little surprised. So I'm on the Spurs. I bet the Spurs money line -125. I'm worried I should have waited. I don't think he's playing. I think people are starting to bet this game like he is going to play. I'm now wondering if Portland closes as a pick'em type of situation here, because Wemby, Gabe, is warming up, I think, on the court. So everyone's oh, he's fine. But what I think you're 100% correct about is he is playing game 4. So I don't think the Spurs are going to want to. Yeah, he's out there, Gabe.
Up to 3.5.
So I'm already on the Spurs money line, but I'm not. I don't expect Wemby to play at all. I'm not gonna sit here and say I'd rather him not play. That's ridiculous, but that's not what I'm betting on. I'm not I'm gonna catch him sleeping. Wemby's playing. I like the Spurs to show up without him, very motivated. I thought they got punked a little bit by the Blazers, quite frankly, once Wemby left that game. I think a lot of guys were kind of the Aaron Fox was wildly outplayed by Scoot Henderson and Stephon Castle. I think these guys show up tonight, Gabe. But the market's starting to be maybe.
Yeah, as the number goes up, the market is believing that Wembanyama is going to play and have an impact in this game. And we've seen before, they've limited his minutes before in injury situations. All right, we'll give him 20 minutes. We'll give him 24 minutes or so. But I think you're sleeping. I think people, not you, I don't think it's your fault, Kevin. people on the East Coast don't see the Portland Trailblazers. They're not on national television ever, right? They're buried in the Pacific Northwest, and I've said it time and time again. I think Thiago Splitter did the best job out of any coach in the NBA this year, and I think they're in this series. They're going to split here. The Rose Garden's going to be rocking, bro. All right? Like, they're going to split. Like, Portland are not intimidated. You know, as good as San Antonio are, Kevin, we can talk about it on the other side, as good as they are, Portland are one of these rare teams that are big, bro. They've got size.
Yeah,
They are not intimidated by the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, they also played a couple of weeks ago. No Wemby, no Castle. Spurs by double digits. I just think the Spurs are better than them. We got two other games to break down right here on SportsGrid.
They do nothing fancy, the Philadelphia Flyers. There's nothing like, oh my God, like they basically, Kevin, can like hand you their playbook before the game. Like seriously, they can say, yeah, this is what we're gonna do. These are our lines, and this is how we're gonna match up against you. Like you know it, like, you know what I mean? Like, and you know it. There's nothing you can do about it.
Game time decisions only on SportsGrid.
The New York Knickerbockers are NBA champions. Da 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 da. Canyon of Heroes, parade, convertibles, hot chicks in Knick jerseys. The Knicks finally get over the hump and win an NBA title. And there's me, and there's Jalen Brunson.
The Craig Carden Show. Only on SportsGrid.
Get it, man. Maybe this is more of a Kalshi poly market conversation to jump in on the prediction markets, but to me, this is the spot that I would roll with the Rays, man. I think they're undervalued every year, and I think they're undervalued this year again. Look, the Yankees should be the favorite. They're the best team on paper. Baltimore, Toronto, and Boston? Donnie, are they that much better than Tampa Bay? What am I missing here?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Do you think technology and those earpieces, again, when it comes to the development of the quarterbacks, is hurt the game?
The development of the quarterback position is getting worse and worse and worse because you don't see live action, you don't get game time experience, and you're going to have to develop in a slower way. And to me, if you don't have the people around you, it's going to be a tough road to be able to play the game.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Happen here. We got two more NBA games to break down with Philly and Boston and Lakers Rockets. And I know that this will disappoint you a little bit out of me, Gabe. I'm not betting Sixers Celtics. I looked at this game once. I looked at it twice. I looked at it. I don't like anything in the game. I don't like anything in this game. I don't like props. I don't like the side. I don't like the total. Maybe there's going to be something live, Gabe. I don't like this game tonight.
Yeah, I don't either. I got to be honest with you. I generally don't like Boston and Philadelphia games to begin with.
Yeah.
So you combine the two of them together, and I'm like, oh, God, you got to be kidding me, right? And it's 7.5. The number is just like crisp. It's right there. I do see some prop spots here, and I do want to bring up a couple of numbers, guys. So the Boston Celtics, and you and I talked about this yesterday, Kevin. The Celtics do this every series, every year. They do it all the time. There's always one game where they're terrible. They go like, 13 for 52 from three, whatever. People panic. They didn't shoot they haven't been shooting the three well, actually, for a little while now, but they always bounce back after. And for the record, this year, and even with the injuries that they had, this year, the Boston Celtics were an NBA best 18-8 against the spread off of a loss. This is what they do. They bounce back. Jason Tatum always bounces back, Kevin. I'm expecting a big game from Tatum tonight. His prop is 24.5, but I think he's going to get into the high 20s. I like Edgecombe tonight. And I'm not saying he's going to go off for 30, but I can meet in the middle here, Kevin, of a 13 and a 30, in which he's done, right? So they set it at 15.5. I got him scored 19, 20, 21. I think players at home, like they score more, right? You saw the Raptors suddenly, like RJ Barrett, like the three ball suddenly falls at home for the players. And so I'm expecting a good offensive performance, actually, or at least the players on the Sixers to play well. tonight, this is going to surprise you, but I'll bring this up quickly, actually. If you want to, hang your hat on something, Kevin, with the San Antonio Spurs. They're actually the second best team in the NBA this year off a loss against the spread. The San Antonio Spurs, second best team off a loss after the Boston Celtics. So two teams, that's why they're good. Two teams that bounce back off of losses. But with that being stated, and it'll lead us into the next game here, I shook things up tonight. I got a lot of player props in the NBA, but I do believe Boston are going to win this game. And I think they probably covered a point spread. But I also think the Houston Rockets are going to win the game. And even though I've been riding the Lakers all along here, and I was on the Lakers in those 2 regular season games even, like last month. So the Lakers have beaten the Rockets 4 straight times, twice, and both in Houston, guys. They played on a Tuesday night and a Thursday night. The games mattered to both teams. Lakers beat them twice. Now they play in the playoffs. The Lakers beat them twice again. It's 4 in a row. They've beaten them 6 of the last 7 times that they played now overall. And here I am saying the Houston Rockets win this game tonight. But I'm going to moneyline parlay, Kevin, the Boston Celtics and the Houston Rockets. Call me Johnny Square Public tonight. Rockets,
no way.
Celtics,
Gabe, you're going to be angry. Look at this game. Breaking news, Kevin Durant ruled out tonight. 18 seconds ago from Shams Charania. Kevin Durant out. Gabe just did that whole breakdown, and a great breakdown, but also a breakdown that let you know the last thing he wanted to do. Reed Shepherd to the moon. No. Take my graphic. Reed Shepherd assist. I have Reed Shepherd for 3, 4, 6, 8.
Now, Kevin.
No choice, Gabe. And Gabe won. He had 8 assists. Oh, I better not get screwed here. Oh, he better get me 8 assists. Oh, we got the ladder for Reed Shepherd out. Oh, this is exciting.
So KD's out.
Oh, don't worry about it. Gabe, run to your local book. Go ahead, or wherever you like to shop. Get you some Reed Shepherd assists. Come on now. Let's get excited here, Gabe. Let's get excited.
The graphics crew. With the damn NBA, even in the damn playoffs, Kevin. It's like the regular season. You figured out in the playoffs we don't have to worry about this stuff. No. In the playoffs you do. And they're dropping these bombs. Oh, yeah, by the way, Dame Lillard's questionable suddenly. What do you mean he's questionable? Questionable to show up to the arena? No, he's questionable to play in the game tonight. And he's not going to play, but they're dropped. Dame Lillard's back in the mix suddenly. They're like, oh, yeah, by the way, Dame Lillard's back. And then Austin Reeves. So let me ask you, is Austin Reeves playing tonight, Kevin, or what?
Oh, all right, hold on. I'm getting lightheaded. Questionable to get to the arena is really
Lillard?
good.
You had to have said, what, Dame Lillard?
Just one of the reasons I like it, though, is because there was a stretch during Kawhi. Clippers made a run to the conference finals, and they kept ruling Kawhi questionable, but he also wasn't traveling with the team. It's like, what's he going to – like, what are you talking about? He's not in Phoenix. Like, he's not questionable, guy. He's out. Okay.
Yeah, but Lillard's with the Blazers. And not only Lillard won the NBA three-point shot contest this year. Like, he's shooting daily, bro. Like,
and Damian Lillard is – I know they're so different, but – the Anthony Davis and Trae Young are on the Wizards because of circumstance. Damian Lillard wanted to go back to Portland. Like, he's going to get his number retired. Damian Lillard would love nothing more than to give those guys 18 minutes if he could. Like, he would let, and he's not, there's no ego,
in my opinion.
For
that big shot, Kevin. You know what I mean? Exactly.
Yeah.
You're not giving us 28. We're not asking for that. You're not the star on the team. But, yeah, you give us 16, 18 minutes and hit a couple of threes for us, and this will be good.
Yeah.
It'll really get the crowd pumped, too, with Lillard walking on the floor and stuff.
Oh, it would be unbelievable.
It would just be a special moment.
Yeah.
Like,
so, okay, a lot happening here. I want to get to the Reeves thing in a second.
So what's the new number now, though? So, sorry, with Reeves. So what's the new number now? What is
6.5, Gabe, for the spread. 6.5 spread, minus 240 money line. 205.5 listed total.
So I got to flip my pick from I think the Rockets win. Because not only do I think the Rockets going to win, Kevin, I like Kevin Durant over 24.5 points tonight. I was like, tonight's a KD night. Like, he's going off. Right? Hell, he scored 23 the other night. Like I thought, he's back home, must win. He's going off. He's out. It's just chaos. Just absolute chaos. But Lakers plus 6.5 now? So you're running to you got the Reed Shepherd in bets already, which is good for you. So there's going to be an adjustment with these guys. You know who I'm looking at now is Jabari Smith. And I already like Jabari Smith over Kevin. Let's see what they adjust his numbers with now. He's been kind of the consistent one. And nobody talks about my boy Terry Eason, but Eason, they set him at 9.5 all the time. He gets to double digits, man. And now there'll be more shots for him, too.
I just want to just say this quickly, okay? So books vary. I'm sure they're all trying to get there. But Kevin Durant missing this game is something where I know we talk about how the guys miss in the NBA and whatnot. But the books know how to protect themselves from stuff like this. They had no idea KD was missing this game. None. That was a 9.5 number.
I still have an 8 in a book in front of me right now. I got to pull the trigger with the Lakers +8. Like, the Rockets win this game with this lineup. I don't think they're blowing the Lakers out.
No, I mean, Gabe, if you look, 6.5 everywhere I'm seeing.
Really?
Everywhere.
Yeah, I got to pounce on this 8 here right now.
Yeah, no, go for it.
For the record, Bet365 has an 8 up right now.
All right. So, while you do that, I just want to explain something on Reed Shepherd, okay? For everybody, I was on Reed Shepherd with thinking Durant was going to play because Ime Udoka said, I have to play Reed Shepherd more. We can't score the basketball. Reed Shepherd's one of our best offensive players. Him in the last game. It was a completely ridiculous decision. So, to me...
But you and I talk about Udoka. He's a psycho. He gets so angry.
He's not a very good coach also.
Sit your ass down.
He's just a bad coach at this point. I figured that I could get 30 minutes from Reed Shepherd. When Reed Shepherd plays 30 minutes, 3 assists, 20 out of 23 games. 4 assists, 17 out of 23 games. But here's the craziest thing about that number. In this series, Reed Shepherd had a game with 8 assists. So I was like, but now that game happened without Durant. Gabe, I got to tell you, I don't know what the books do with the Reed Shepherd numbers, but don't you think they post them a lot closer to game number 1 than game number 2? I think Reed Shepherd starts tonight.
I'm looking at it, as you stated, the books are adjusting as we speak. This is breaking news with the props. It's strange because they only have 3 Houston players up now, suddenly. Sengun, Jabari Smith, and Thompson. And let me ask you, I already like Jabari Smith over, Kevin. It's 17.5 for Jabari Smith right now.
13.5?
Come on. How does he not go over 17.5? And Sengun, it's 20.5. It was 20.5. It's 21.5 now. I'd rather play it to get to 20, etc. But to me, this falls on Jabari Smith and Sengun the most here. And they're going to have to step up.
Well, and the thing that, again, we have Craig coming up. There actually is a lot of good baseball tonight. I promise we'll get to it all. But, do the Lakers want Reeves out there even more now, thinking we're going up 3-0 if Reeves plays in this game? We'll be right back here on SportsGrid.
They do nothing fancy, the Philadelphia Flyers. There's nothing like, oh my God, they basically, Kevin, can hand you their playbook before the game. Seriously. They can say, yeah, this is what we're going to do. These are our lines, and this is how we're going to match up against you. You know it. You know what I mean? And you know it. There's nothing you can do about it.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
The New York Knickerbockers are NBA champions. Da 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 da. Canyon of Heroes, parade, convertibles, hot chicks in Knick jerseys. The Knicks finally get over the hump and win an NBA title. And there's me, and there's Jalen Brunson.
The Craig Carden Show, only on SportsGrid.
Get it, man. Maybe this is more of a Kalshi poly market conversation to jump in on the prediction markets, but to me, this is the spot that I would roll with the Rays, man. I think they're undervalued every year, and I think they're undervalued this year again. Look, the Yankees should be the favorite. They're the best team on paper. Baltimore, Toronto, and Boston? Donnie, are they that much better than Tampa Bay? What am I missing here?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Do you think technology and those earpieces, again, when it comes to the development of the quarterbacks, is hurt the game?
The development of the quarterback position is getting worse and worse and worse because you don't see live action, you don't get game time experience, and you're going to have to develop in a slower way. And to me, if you don't have the people around you, it's going to be a tough road to be able to play the game.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
All right, back right here on Game Time Decisions. Just a lot going on right now in the sports world, and it is a lot of fun to follow. We are going to move over to, all right, let me just do this quickly. We've got a guy, Craig Mish here. Craig, super excited to get into the baseball game. Just very quickly, the Rockets have announced their starting lineup. Reed Shepard is in it, along with Eamon Thompson, Jabari Smith Jr., Alperen Sengun, Gable like this. Tari Eason will get the start for the Rockets. We'll get all into that, but you have Craig here, Major League Baseball style, of course, Newswire, Pro Baseball Today, all right here on SportsGrid. And Craig, I got to tell you, the Mets' 12-game losing streak, to me now, was what it did the most was put into perspective how awful the Philadelphia Phillies are. The Phillies now have a worse record than the Mets, the worst record in baseball on their own. Their run differential is double almost every single team other than the Royals right now. I am blown away at, like, the Mets losing 12 in a row and not being in last place because the Phillies are in last place. You know this division so well, Craig. I know you've talked about Dombrowski a lot, but, man, it is jarring.
Yeah, I mean, guys, it's really surprising. I mean, to see the Phillies 8-17, if I said to you that there's odds on FanDuel and you had to pick one, 8-17 or 17-8, I think 90% of the folks would pick 17-8. It was just the way that you would have predicted it going into the season. But apparently, I guess, look, in the end, their lineup looks really flawed. There's 3 or 4 guys that can hit, and then no one else. There's 2 or 3 guys that can pitch, and then again, no one else. And the closer who they got last year is on the injured list. And so that's led to this epic disaster. And Kevin, we're just going to have to see how things shake out. But when you think about it, right now, 8-17, I mean, that means that the Phillies have to play over 9 games over 500 the rest of the season just to be 500. So it does not seem likely that they've done anything else except bury themselves, similar to the Mets. And as time goes on, and we'll see what happens with the Marlins here, but as time goes on, it does appear that there could maybe be only one team making it from the National League East this year in the postseason. I mean, you just got to call it what it is.
There's more than a handful of teams, guys, and big market teams with high expectations, like the Boston Red Sox. Craig, their offense is absolutely terrible. It's amazing the Red Sox, 13 stolen bases only on the season. It's a bad combination because they don't hit home runs either. So there's more than a handful of teams right now with serious issues to deal with moving forward. It's getting late early out there right now with some of these teams, Craig.
Yeah, look, in terms of Boston, Roman Anthony has not played a lot, so he's been hurt, and Crochet hasn't played well. And look, this is, certainly no indictment on any organization or franchise, but Gabe, I mean, you look at now all of those young, really talented players that Chaim Bloom brought through the organization, and the Red Sox fired him, and they hired Craig Breslow, and things have been nowhere near as good as they were with Bloom, and Bloom is now running the Cardinals. So, I just kind of hate to say it. You sort of get what you pay for here. But the Red Sox, to me, when I look at it, I mean, I just don't see a ton of light at the end of the tunnel here. I didn't really love them. We talked about this going into the season also. But, yeah, I'm shocked that all these teams are under 500. Toronto, to me, is going to get healthier. They're going to get better. Savage will come back, and they'll get the bullpen fixed. But, yeah, Boston's an issue, too.
Yeah, Hoffman, just for the record, guys, if you guys saw that, Hoffman in Toronto is officially not the closer anymore. They're going with a closer by committee.
Yeah.
It's early. I mean, that's the only thing. I know, man, I remember, I think it was when Clay Holmes was kind of losing grip of the job. And I know, Craig, at the time, you're like, look, multiple closers lose a job every single season.
Multiple?
April,
Half.
Yeah.
No, Kevin, that's the biggest
look at the Dodgers
misnomer.
last year.
Yeah, no, like we've changed that significantly. Maybe 5-10 years ago, you used to have 2 or 3 closers losing their job, but now by the time you get to May, it's like half the league, and the other half the league isn't even using a primary closer. So, I mean, Toronto has Louis Varland, and they have some other options there. I'm not really worried about the Blue Jays. I'm not surprised they got off to a slow start because, historically speaking, the team that usually loses the World Series, there's some concern going into that next year. But I think I think Toronto will be okay, but even Baltimore doesn't look that good either. So, I mean, the Yankees and Braves on these divisions we talked about could be running away with things.
Yeah, it's
I got a
it's
home
super-
run question, guys. We got to bring it up when somebody's hit a home run in 5 straight games. Can he make it 6 tonight, Kevin? Do you think, and Craig? Can Murakami hit another home run this evening?
Why not?
Yeah, I think why not is kind of the best response,
I'm going to feel
right?
bad if I don't bet it and it happens.
Honestly, the guy that I think that could even get hotter than him is Colson Montgomery on his same team. That's the name, Gabe, of a player that I think is going to have a major breakout this year.
All right.
On a couple of these teams, we're seeing some breakouts. The one thing I wanted to make sure I asked you about, Craig, though, because I think every 5 days or so, I'm sure the biggest day in the Marlin calendar is when Sandy Alcantara gets the baseball gear, and he gets it on the road against a Giants team in a spot where, again, I get it, it's game 26, but hey, Sandy, go get us back over 500. Like, that's a decent little important April spot, I feel, for Miami's ace, no?
Yeah, I just, the thing is like, if you said to me, like, there's 30 teams in baseball and give me a team that isn't really good and isn't really bad, but you can't figure them out, that's the team the Marlins play this weekend in the Giants. I really don't know who they are. Like, honestly, like, Are they good? Are they bad? They got hot a little bit. They look good against the Dodgers. They don't hit any home runs, but they seem to get a lot of hits. It's like a very strange team. You don't know the manager all that well. Look, I hope, obviously, the Marlins took 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals, so I hope that by the time they come back next weekend, that they have a good showing here. But yeah, they're going to get to face Ohtani and everybody next week in LA. So I'm hopeful that the Marlins can win 2 out of 3 in San Francisco before they have to go play the Dodgers.
Yeah, despite that start, Kevin, it's not great 11-14, but they're chipping away San Francisco. I thought there was a little bit more
That's a fair
early.
assessment. That's a fair assessment.
Yeah, they're chipping away.
I think
they're a 500
this
ball club, Craig. You know what I mean?
That sounds right. They weren't as bad as they showed. They'll be okay, but they're always going to have to scratch out game 3-4 runs.
The question is, do you think San Diego keep this up throughout the season? Like, are San Diego
probably good.
5 wins?
Oh, I don't know about that, but probably good. I think you have 3 teams in the division, including Arizona, that are going to battle to the end. Arizona's always good, and then San Francisco probably okay. Sounds like to me.
It's going to be fun to follow, though. Like it's funny, the Dodgers lost
Dodgers tonight.
Yeah, 3 out of 5, and it's like, oh, things are interesting. They're not going to win 600 games in the season. Craig, appreciate it. As always, catch him this weekend, Pro Baseball Today, here on SportsGrid. A lot going on, NFL, NBA, NHL, to update you on the other side.
They do nothing fancy, the Philadelphia Flyers. There's nothing like, oh my God, like they basically, Kevin, can hand you their playbook before the game. Like, seriously. They can say, yeah, this is what we're going to do. These are our lines, and this is how we're going to match up against you. You know it. You know what I mean? And you know it. There's nothing you can do about it.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
The New York Knickerbockers are NBA champions. Da 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 da. Canyon of Heroes, parade, convertibles, hot chicks in Knick jerseys. The Knicks finally get over the hump and win an NBA title. And there's me, and there's Jalen Brunson.
The Craig Carden Show, only on SportsGrid.
Get it, man. Maybe this is more of a Kalshi poly market conversation to jump in on the prediction markets, but to me, this is the spot that I would roll with the Rays, man. I think they're undervalued every year, and I think they're undervalued this year again. Look, the Yankees should be the favorite. They're the best team on paper. Baltimore, Toronto, and Boston? Donnie, are they that much better than Tampa Bay? What am I missing here?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Do you think technology and those earpieces, again, when it comes to the development of the quarterbacks, is hurt the game?
The development of the quarterback position is getting worse and worse and worse because you don't see live action, you don't get game time experience, and you're going to have to develop in a slower way. And to me, if you don't have the people around you, it's going to be a tough road to be able to play the game.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
right, guys, we're back with you right here on Sports Grid. I mean, just an unbelievable amount.
Can't believe
of
the
stuff
show's
going
done
on
already.
No, it's great. It's great. Gabe, you'll be no surprise. I got a text, from the big guy back home, my dad. He's like, you got to get to the NHL playoffs, and the Flyers aren't even playing tonight. And I'm like, I know, Dad. He's producing from Queens, Gabe. There you go. Gabe.
Hey, Mr. Walsh, there's another team in the Eastern Conference, sir.
Yeah, you ain't wrong. Gabe, why didn't you take the reins here, run through the NHL tonight, let people know what you like here? 3 really good games.
Yeah, I tell you what, you cannot top the. It's like Yankee Stadium in the World Series type of deal, but even more special. The Montreal Canadiens do ceremonies better than anybody. They haven't won a cup in forever, but they do these ceremonies and like the pregame stuff. It's absolute magic, and you can't top the city of Montreal for a playoff game in the atmosphere. And they're actually good. They're in this series. Both the games have been close. I think the Canadiens look like a better team. Tampa sort of mucked it up the other night a little bit because they realized they're not as fast as Montreal. I think the Canadiens get it done tonight. You're a numbers guy, Kevin, so this one a prop guy, and you're not adverse to making some money. How about this? Connor McDavid doesn't have a point, Kevin.
Unreal, Gabe. I couldn't believe that.
Both games have gone over, and there's been a million goals.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? You're like, nah. Like you tell him, nah. Yeah, he's got a point, right? No, you don't have a point. The last time Connor McDavid went 3 games without a point, Kevin, January 2022.
Yeah.
Just for the record.
I mean, that's a long
time. Out
of
only 4 times in his career where he's been pointless in 3 straight. In an 11-year career.
Yeah, it's a great look.
I say he goes over 1.5 tonight.
Yep.
It's like, it's not, you don't get to do 1 with him, right? It's 1.5. So, like, you got to go over 1.5. So, scratch my Celtics Rockets moneyline parlay. That's rotting in hell. That's gone. Scratch it. Not play it.
Yep.
KD, God, always out. Edgecombe, over 15.5 points. Soft.
Yeah.
Edgecombe, over 15.5 points. I'm going with my boy, my new favorite player on the Lakers, Luke Kennard. I tell you, Kevin, whatever, dude. He's got 50 points in 2 games. I'm only asking for 15 tonight. I don't think he's suddenly going to melt down because they're in Houston. So let's go over 14.5 points with Kennard. Via over 24.5 points tonight. Montreal Canadiens to win a plus 100. The Edmonton Oilers minus 130. All
right, quick update on the NFL draft. Denzel Boston has flew all the way up now, minus 130 to plus 150, depending on where you're shopping, to go 33. Really? I jumped in at, I think it was sitting like 4-1, just kind of while we're all sitting here. But look around at your books. It might be him. By the way, there's a lot of chatter. Carson Beck might go 34 to Arizona. I'm just saying. I'm seeing 7-1 on one book. Like, I would keep my eyes open. I would keep my eyes open on Beck right now, going off the board
I've
here.
got a hot take.
At 34.
Drew Aller ends up on the Pittsburgh Steelers by the end of the night.
Yeah.
Not saying they're taking with their first pick up here, but I could see Beck going pretty quickly here. I think NFL teams do like him.
You know what? I put a little bit on it, just a little greedy, even though I got him to go in round number 2. So
if
we're
you have
involved
access
now.
to it, people.
Yeah.
If you guys have got access to it, I think this is I don't know, best is whatever, but TJ Parker out of Clemson. TJ Parker, over under 39.5. Under 39.5 is minus 170 now, Kevin. I do not believe, and in fact, I think he's going to go like, it wouldn't shock me if he's the first pick off the board here right now.
Yeah, would not help
I
me,
think
but I
TJ
wouldn't
Parker
shock me.
goes in the top 30, like 35. The Raiders are at 36. I think if Denzel Boston falls to the Raiders, they pull the trigger there, Kevin.
Yeah.
But love the TJ Parker under 39.5.
It's a great look. Now here comes a crazy moment out of me. 7 baseball picks that I have not talked about yet on this
baseball.
show. Yeah, I know. Astros, Yanks under the 9.5. Blue Jays money line. Royals money line. Skeens over 17.5 outs recorded. Rangers, A's under the 8.5. Cubs money line. Forgive me, Gabe, but I just think it's a good number. Giants money line against the Miami Marlins. 7 baseball picks on the board there. Spurs money line, Reed Shepherd over the assist, although the Reed Shepherd numbers are completely out of whack now due to Durant being out. Behind the scenes, what do we got from the team here tonight? Angels, Royals. Oh, wow, this is a game of the night game. Angels, Royals, game of the year. You're going to have to bet a Mike Trout home run or something for us in this game. First 5 over from Chris. Angels money line head-to-head with AJ, and then a Murakami James Wood. Oh, my gosh, 11-1 home run special from your boy Yarnell.
I like it. Yarnell's on top of it. See, he knew. Yarnell's on top of it with our boy Murakami.
Yeah.
Los Angeles Angels. I'd like to see the Dodgers at the bottom there, AJ, at the end of that instead of the Angels.
little Angels Dodgers two-step.
There's a lot going on. A little bonus action tonight. National Lacrosse League playoff action. Give me the Vancouver Warriors. They're minus 210 favorites tonight.
This is the absolute best. I mean, there's nobody else in the world. But now I get to take credit.
The UFL game.
There's no other show out there that's how did you not get the UFL game? Go to @SportsRage for all the UFL picks. We'll see you guys next week.
They do nothing fancy, the Philadelphia Flyers. There's nothing like, oh my God, like they basically, Kevin, can like hand you their playbook before the game. Like seriously. They can say, yeah, this is what we're going to do. These are our lines, and this is how we're going to match up against you. Like, you know it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and you know it. There's nothing you can do about it.
Game time decisions only on SportsGrid.
The New York Knickerbockers are NBA champions. Da 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 da. Canyon of Heroes. Parade, convertibles, hot chicks in Knick jerseys. The Knicks finally get over the hump and win an NBA title. And there's me, and there's Jalen Brunson.
The Craig Carden Show. Only on SportsGrid.
Get it, man. Maybe this is more of a Kalshi poly market conversation to jump in on the prediction markets, but to me, this is the spot that I would roll with the Rays, man. I think they're undervalued every year, and I think they're undervalued this year again. Look, the Yankees should be the favorite. They're the best team on paper. Baltimore, Toronto, and Boston? Donnie, are they that much better than Tampa Bay? What am I missing here?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Do you think technology and those earpieces, again, when it comes to the development of the quarterbacks, is hurt the game?
The development of the quarterback position is getting worse and worse and worse because you don't see live action, you don't get game time experience, and you're going to have to develop in a slower way. And to me, if you don't have the people around you, it's going to be a tough road to be able to play the game.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Prediction Markets Edge right here on the early line. We got you covered, people, from all angles. You want to talk Major League Baseball? We got you. You want to talk a little NBA action? We got you. NHL action, NFL draft, NBA draft, it all goes down right here, Joe, in the next half hour. Investing your money wisely right here on the grid.
Yeah, it's time to get it going, Donnie, because we got a lot happening this weekend here, which is, and we got let's not forget, we got Kentucky Derby coming up. We've got the second major coming up over the next few weeks. There's a lot going on as we get ready to end April and head into May.
Before you, again, like we don't like to hit that fast forward button, but Joe and I are going to be talking about, hey, training camps are open in the NFL. Like we're already at the draft. Mandatory OTAs are coming up and then training camp, and away we go into the regular season. Seattle opening up the season on opening night. But let's get to the association tonight, Joe. In Philadelphia, me, being a Sixers fan, said to myself, like, I mean, yeah, who's going to be in the building? Sixers are going to be down 0-2 after back-to-back 30-point losses. VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey said, no. We're going to tie this series up. So now we talk about a 1-1 series with a pivotal game 3 in Philadelphia tonight. On the Kalshi Marketplace, Boston currently trading as the favorite, as they should be, at 72% as a chance to win this game. The Sixers as the dog at 28%. If we go to the spread, currently trading at 50%, Joe, Boston favored by 7.5. So you see that 50% marker here. $100 investment pays back an even $200. No juice if you feel Boston can win this game by 8+ points tonight in Philadelphia.
Yeah, and I think a lot of this is all going to come down to, Donnie, we talked about it, what's Embiid's status? Because we've heard, and we have heard throughout the first two, that he is likely targeting game 3 of this series to come back. Only a lot of people thought it's probably be down 2-0 by the time they make it back to Philly. And yet here we are, knotted up at 1 apiece. And I find it interesting with this line sitting at 7.5. I'm wondering if it's already baked in that he is playing, that they think he is playing. Because if he's not, if he's ruled out, does this go to double digits? It's a wait-and-see approach. But in the meantime, whether he's in or not, I'm probably looking at fading Maxey here tonight because I think Boston learns its lesson. They are going to continue. They're going to dare Edgecombe to have the same game that he had in game 2, and I don't think he's going to be able to do it. They've got to shut down Maxey again here, Boston.
Here's what I like about this, Joe, and I think you're on to something, because Maxey and Edgecombe were the catalyst here in game number 2 in Boston. So for me, if you're going to take away Maxey, which leaves you with VJ Edgecombe, how about this? 15 points out of VJ Edgecombe tonight. $100 investment pays back $170 here. If you're going to let him shoot, and also, shooters like to shoot, Joe. 30 and 10 last game. I don't need that many from him. Give me 15. That's going to pay me back a nice return here. Los Angeles, the Lakers taking on the Houston Rockets tonight, Joe. You know me. My bet of the night, I'm taking the Rockets here to cover the point spread. If we take a look at the Kalshi marketplace, Houston at a 73% chance to win this game outright. The Lakers only 27%, which means if you take out that yes contract on the Lakers winning this game, Joe, pays handsomely with a $100 investment, paying back $371.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues going on with this Rockets team right now, Donnie. And if you're pushing me into a corner here, I got to believe, A, Durant is playing. And then I've also got to believe that if he is playing, he's going to get more than the 12 shots he got in that game 2 here. Obviously, he played, 41 minutes in game 2 against the Lakers. He finished with 23 points. But again, only took 12 shots, and he looked like he was out of gas by the time we got to the fourth quarter. I think at home, couple of days here, I think Durant is going to have a Durant-style game here. His prop, 23.5 points. I think that's the way to look here. Expect him to go off tonight.
How about this? 25-plus points on the Kalshi marketplace, Joe. 46 cents is the current contract. To take a yes on that, $100 investment pays back $218 in this game for Kevin Durant. I don't think that the Houston's going to cover a double-digit spread unless Durant does go for 25-plus, so almost goes hand in hand there. San Antonio and Portland, Joe. San Antonio on the road. We know you have your best bet of the night here as the San Antonio Spurs. If we go over to the Kalshi marketplace and you take them basically just to win the game, currently trading at a contract of 58 cents, which means a $100 investment on San Antonio to win this game outright would pay you back $173. Underdog Portland, that contract to the yes is 45 cents here, Joe. San Antonio on the road, no Wemby, no problems?
Yeah, no, it's San Antonio all day long here, as far as I'm concerned. In fact, I would go along with the same situation. Best ATS team all year long, San Antonio, Donnie. Full game. You know what else they were number 1 in? Covering the first half of games here. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Remember, Donnie, even when Wemby was out early in game 2, they dominated that game except for that short stretch. They let Portland go off on them in the last 4 or 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, and that's what ended up doing them in. I think they come out with a vengeance here. I would even look early in this game to San Antonio. First quarter, first half.
Somebody's got to make up for those points that you lose without Wemby in the lineup. Stephon Castle to go for 20-plus points tonight, Joe, is plus money. A $100 investment would pay back $213. Over to the Diamond today in the Central Division. The Pirates are going to take on the Brewers. And who's on the mound here for the Pirates? Yeah, it's Paul Skeens. They're the favorites today on the Kalshi marketplace to win this game. A 54% chance, but the contract, Joe, is currently at 56 cents to the yes for them winning. So a $100 investment would pay back $179. If you want to go with the dog and say, you know what, I'm going to fade Paul Skeens in this game, buyer beware, as we like to say. A $100 investment on Milwaukee pays back $218 here.
I gotta think it's Paul Skeens, right? It's gonna be K-Day. That's kind of what it feels like. Strikeout props across the board here. Still a lot of injuries on the Milwaukee Brewers side, Donnie. They're still missing Terang. They're still missing Yelich. Yeah. They still have some issues and holes in this lineup here. I don't expect a ton of runs. I told you, I think both team totals under, especially early. I mean, if this has got first 5 under written all over it, I don't care if it's 3. I don't see either lineup doing damage to either of these starting pitchers.
By the way, the Central Division, which usually gets left out, like, one team will get in, everybody else really stinks here. Every single team in that division, Joe, over 500. The Reds and the Cubs both tied at 16 and 19 here, and the Pirates and the Brewers technically listed in last place, 14-11 and 13-11 respectively here. So good baseball being played in the Central Division. Let's cross it over to the NHL tonight. We do have a triple header tonight, even more hockey on Saturday. I told you I'm fired up for Saturday night against the Penguins with this game. And this series has been spectacular. Tampa Bay at Montreal. The place is going to be going wild tonight there. Los Habitants taking the ice. But on the Kalshi Marketplace, Tampa Bay currently trading, Joe, at 52% chance to win this game. The Montreal Canadiens at 48% tonight. Games have been extremely close. Maybe another overtime game. But the slight advantage here on the predictive markets are to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and they should be, because that's where experience comes in here, Donnie, right? This is what it is all about. And I think getting Hedman back for Tampa Bay you could see the difference offensively it made in game 2. I think that continues here. Still have the more proven commodity. And Montreal seems hell-bent on just trying to be more physical and trying to beat up this Tampa Bay Lightning team. And it's cost them here in a couple of overtime games. So I tend to think that the gloves are off, so to speak. And I do think Tampa is going to show why it is that they were considered to be the favorites to begin with. And I think they proved that on the road here tonight against Montreal.
Absolutely. Getting out the binoculars just a little bit, Joe. Tomorrow night in Philadelphia, one of the highest ticket prices in Philadelphia Flyers history just to get in the building as they have a 3-0 series lead. But tomorrow, Joe, again, close numbers. The Flyers only a 51% chance on Kalshi here to win that game. The Penguins at 49%. So let me just ask you this simple question. Are we talking about a game 5 back in Pittsburgh, or is it wrapped up in Philadelphia on Saturday night?
It feels like that's all she wrote here, Dottie. It just looks like the Penguins, unless Crosby goes off, it's over.
Music to my ears. Prediction Markets Edge on the early line rolls along. We'll be back after this short break. ready for some fun, ready to get after it here. Of course, we're talking NBA action. We're talking NFL action. We're talking hockey. We're talking baseball. Nice little mix in between. Donnie, Joe, and Joe coming in there next. How about that? Didn't know we were getting guests today. Love to have some guests today, Joe. How are we feeling today?
Feeling good. We're in the NBA bracket, hoping to carry that momentum from NCAA. I'm going to pump my tires with that Michigan ticket for as long as it rides. So, we're rolling with the NBA. My Raptors won last night, so I'm feeling good. And
yes,
let's get this bracket pumping.
I love the fact that the Raptors won yesterday. Cha-ching, best bet of the day, cashes in. We'll see if we can turn it over today. But just like we talk about the NFL draft, which is taking place right now, it's never too early to look at who might be the number one overall pick in the NBA draft. Dibansta, Peterson, Boozer, and all the boys out there. Any looks here, Joe, from what you're saying, you know what? Maybe it's worth a little action here on the predictive markets.
I mean, I don't think you can go away from Dibansta in this situation, whether the market dictates or not. Generational talent, just does everything, young, athletic. I can't see anyone else going, but Boozer has the pedigree, obviously. He's been in the game a long time with his father.
Yeah.
Carlos, a lot of you young kids probably don't remember him, but he was the first unibrow before Anthony Davis took that title. But that dude could play, smart Duke guy. So between those two, you can't lose, but I'm leaning through AJ.
It feels like it's so unique this year, Joe, isn't it, in this NBA draft? Because it feels like even outside, you don't get the top ping pong ball. It feels like there is anywhere from 5 to 8 guys in this draft that are franchise changers. It's usually 1 or 2 guys at the top, and then we're like, all right, who cares? Nobody cares about everyone else. They're G League players. Not so much this year. I can't remember a season like this.
Well, you know what? I was just going to say, Joe, as you were saying that, it really, talking about throwbacks, that's what it feels like. It feels like to those throwback drafts of those 90s eras where you had, 2 to 7 guys that could go either way. And if you do redrafts now, like let's say, I'm a Raptors guy, so the Vince Carter draft, the Marcus Camby draft, all those drafts in that 90s era, Kevin Garnett, like there was just a collection of players that, any team could go for. And, I know some teams kind of want to draft for fits, not as much as in the NFL, but, talent is talent in the NBA. And once you have the best guy in the court, it changes everything in an instant, as we've seen with a lot of franchises. Look at Wemby. So it's great to see that, because I feel like the NBA draft has taken a step back in that sense, because you haven't had a ton of ready NBA players in years, really. So it's good to see the NBA get back in the spotlight with the draft, pushing their really young college talented players, and seeing that they can make that step directly and really a fit in anywhere.
Draft will be here sooner than later, but did everybody know out here the last time we had SportsGrid's own Joe Cervenka on the show, we were talking about an early ticket on the predictive markets with the Michigan Wolverines that cashed in. So now the question's coming up. All right, Joe, we did it in college. How do we approach the NBA in the marketplace right now? And yes, have you placed a ticket or an exchange here on a team already on the predictive markets?
Well, I know everyone says, what have you done for me lately? But I'm riding that Michigan ticket as far as it takes me. Again, got me on this show. So I'm going to roll with that.
Yep.
I like Boston. Didn't have the same runway that, we had with Michigan. But, Jason Tatum is a beast. Jaylen Brown took a step up that everyone knew he could, but he proved it this season. The other really sort of X factor here, and I think a lot of people forget that Boston picked up Vucevic at the trade deadline. He was hurt about a month. He's not the player he was at 35, but he gives them that length and size. And if they meet up with any team in the West, they're going to need some of that. He's not a great defensive player by any means, but giving that length and size, Boston is really the only team in the NBA, I think, that can hang defensively with OKC to a degree. They were ranked 4th in defensive rating over the season. And you know what? The East is an easier path. Let's be honest here. The West is an absolute meat grinder. So whoever ends up coming out, they're going to have some major battles against some physical, tough teams. Whereas the East, I think it's a little bit more of an easier path if there is one in the NBA. And I think that blip on the radar in game 2 is going to give Boston all the motivation they need to really lock down into championship mode. And their supporting cast is really underrated. Their guards are good. They all play defense. It's Boston. They have that championship mentality, when they're not even a good team.
Well, we got injury concerns here as well, though, in the West. So what seemed to be just like pencil OKC in, maybe not so fast here. I mean, now Jalen Williams is down, which isn't a big problem when, you're opening against the Phoenix Suns. But at some point, yeah, that's going to be a problem, I think, for OKC. But you got Wemby in concussion protocol. We've got injuries, to Durant, and who knows if Luke is coming. There's a lot of uncertainty all of a sudden in the West, isn't there?
There really is, and that's where I was going to get to my next point about the Lakers. It's a very fascinating case what you do with the Lakers now. They're up to 4% to win the NBA championship. I don't think that's the case, but you have Reeves potentially coming back tonight. You have Luke Kennard finding another gear where no one even knew he had one. And Luka shot around the other day. So, he's not going to be back for the first round, but I can't see the Lakers dropping this series to Houston. I wrote about it, the juxtaposition between LeBron and Kevin Durant. Here's LeBron, 41 years old, slowest player in the game, oldest player in the game, and KD sits out because he bumped knees in practice. Like, that just shows you the difference between a championship mentality guy and a guy that's just, kind of collecting a paycheck, going through the motions. Does he care to win a title? I don't know. I know LeBron does. So it's an interesting case there. I would personally sell on the Lakers at 4 cents right here for the 4% for the NBA championship. But I think they're going off at 60% to win the series. I can't see them dropping this series, although they will lose tonight, I think. But as they're getting healthier, that's a really interesting wrench to throw into the West as well.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be fascinating to see how it does play out, because I am surprised that the Lakers do have a 2-0 series lead. In that, if they take the 3-0, it's basically done. But you never know. And the Lakers may be getting healthy at the right time. We'll see if they get some of those players back, and we'll certainly find out. But Joe Cervenka, SportsGrid's own, as we like to say, in the predictive markets, and we love to see it, Joe. Have yourself a great weekend, and thanks for joining us today. We really, really appreciate it. As for Joe Ranieri and Donnie Rightside, we're going to be back after this short break, but all the hot topics will continue to roll along. It's just what we do on the early line. Prediction Markets Edge style, people. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
The process is closed. Let's call it out for what it is, right? And is it their fault? You could, they've been just besieged at Embiid, but it just continues, Kevin, right? As soon as he's like, don't worry about my health, and then here we are, right? I would have traded him a couple of years ago. I would have gotten ahead of the curve, Kevin.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
At the end of the day, LeBron's going to have to put that team on his back. Can he do it? I don't know if he could do it for a 7-game series. Can he give you two, oh my goodness, LeBron at 31? Yeah, I think he can give you a couple of those games. But it's about the other guys that have to step up.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Scottie Scheffler, the best golfer in the world. How many majors will he win this year? And if he does get 4, Joe, that's currently trading at 3 cents. So a $100 investment actually only pays back $333 at this point, which is kind of insane when you ask him to win all 4. Joe, I told you already, sticking to my guns. $100 investment on no majors, none, over the next 4 this year.
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
You build teams in the second, third, and fourth round, right, Donnie? Yeah. That's where you build. That's where you get the depth. That's where you build the team. So teams looking for draft capital very much could be alive and well in this draft coming up, because there's just nobody to mortgage the future for, because you need your franchise guy. They're just not in this draft.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Prediction Markets Edge on the early line. No better place to be because now we're going to talk a little ice advice. Joe Ranieri, and I'm scanning down as I look to see the Stanley Cup champion, those Philadelphia Flyers. They were at 2%. That's not good enough. They're up to 4% on the verge of closing out the Pittsburgh Penguins. But that's a pipe dream for the Flyers to win the championship because it looks like the true contenders won out in the West, Joe. That's the Colorado Avalanche, currently trading at 27% right now, and the Carolina Hurricanes at 20%. Everybody else, 11% or less here. Carolina, why? Well, they're up 3-0. Colorado, why? Well, Joe, they're also up 3-0.
They are, and they were both also the favorites, Donnie, to start with, right? Both Carolina and Colorado were kind of the favorites to get it going. Buffalo's been the trendy dog, so to speak, here with an opportunity, but there's no value, I think, in either of those two. The question is not necessarily who wins it, Donnie, but who do we think can not only get past this opening round, but maybe get past another round here? I think Dallas is fascinating. I think Minnesota, who's down 2-1 right now, is also a lot of value in there because I think that is going 7 games. I think they still have a good shot of beating Dallas in that one. And you and I talked about Vegas to begin with. Why is nobody talking about Vegas? The path for Vegas is much easier than some of these other teams. So, yeah, Colorado won the President's Trophy, did it not? Best record in the National Hockey League. We know what happens with those teams, Donnie. Every year they fall short. And I don't know that I'd be running to the window on Colorado at all.
No, you know what? And you're right about this. It's so hard to win hockey, and sometimes just how good your goalie's playing at the time. But for me, Joe, I'm looking right in that same range: 7, 7, 7, and 8% here. Those teams, the Oilers, the Stars, the Sabres, and the Vegas Golden Knights here, great numbers. And also, once again, you picked Edmonton to win the Stanley Cup. They made it to the final and didn't win it. Well, then you're already profitable with a chance to actually get out of that winning ticket here with a profit in your pocket. But if we do stress, Joe, with the East and the Western conferences, in the East, you're going to get that heavy favor for Carolina. And on a night-to-night basis, those are going to change. Why? Because Carolina's up 3-0. The Tampa Bay Lightning tonight, if they get a victory, Joe, over the Montreal Canadiens, they also move price point higher. The Sabres, who just took a 2-1 series lead over the Boston Bruins, they're at 17%. But Carolina, just from the depth and the way they play, I do think they're the best team in the Eastern Conference, but it is hockey. A lot of things can change from here, even in a couple days.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing, Donnie, right? The ebbs and flows. It takes forever. Injuries are always a concern. So there is, while it's nice that Carolina and Colorado are 3-0 right now, but Donnie, they were $2-3 series favorites to begin with. So there's not, it's not that they're always going to be overvalued. It's what happens next. Who's going to get their first pound of flesh from those teams? That's not going to happen until round 2.
Yeah, and also, let's take a look here, switch it over to some of these series winners, Joe. And the first one we're going to go over is the game we saw last night. Great victory on the road by the Sabres. 2 goals in the third period to win that game 3-1. You currently look at the Sabres now, 2-1 series lead. Still 1 game left in Boston before they head back to Buffalo. But the Sabres are trading at a high of 71% here, Joe. Any chances for you on the yes contract for Boston, which a $100 investment would pay back $345 if they can win that series? Or does it look like Buffalo is going to be that team that's just going to knock this one around and end the season for those Boston Bruins?
Well, I've been having fun in this market, Donnie, because originally after Buffalo came back and won game 1, they were trading at about a 75 to 25 cent difference. So you could have got the Bruins after game 1 at 25 cents, which I did. The Bruins win that next game, game 2, and guess what? Right up to 50 cents. Now they lose, Donnie, right? Game 3 at home, and where are they back at now? 20 some odd cents. This is going to, I think this series goes 7 games, and I think you can keep going back and forth like this. Buy low, wait for the result, sell high, Donnie. I think you can do that this series and the Minnesota and Dallas series, which I think are going 7.
Yep, Minnesota and Dallas here. We'll talk about that series quickly as well. You take a look at the prices there. Why? Dallas is up 2-1 with one game left in Minnesota before it heads back to Dallas. The Stars at a 65% chance to win the series. The Wild at 35% at this point. You win that game number 4. If you're Dallas, you go up 3-1. You can end that in your own building. We'll see what the Minnesota Wild have. But Minnesota Wild, 35%, Joe. Any takers on that number, or is it just a Dallas series for you?
Now the question is, I think it's going 7. So Minnesota wins and the series is tied. They go from 35, Donnie, to 55, 60, maybe somewhere now. All of a sudden we go back and forth. So to me, that's how I'm approaching these games that I think are going 7 games in a series.
Can the Penguins get a 7-game series with the Flyers? They'd have to win their next 3. A $100 investment pays back $1,100 if the Penguins can do it.
Save your money.
They ain't doing it, people. We'll be back on Monday for another edition of Predictive Markets Edge. Enjoy your weekend.
Now, at the end of the day, LeBron's going to have to put their team on his back. Can he do it? I don't know if he could do it for a 7-game series. Can he give you like 2, oh my goodness, LeBron at 31? Yeah, I think he can give you a couple of those games. But it's about the other guys that have to step up.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Let me understand this, Joe. Are we going to have any broadcast games on TV anymore? It's all streaming?
You got to pay to watch here, folks. That's just the way it's going to be, one way or the other. And I'm sure this will satisfy, the FCC looking into the coercion that's going on here with the NBA NFL broadcast rights. Yeah, this is all par for the course, I think.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All these idiots out there sounding off on Tiger right now. See, it's so easy to go after a guy that's hurt. He's hurt. Whether you call it whatever you want. He's got a little bit of an issue and he's going to fix. Okay? They're attacking. Attack. Why don't you all shut up and let him go do his thing? He had to leave the country to do it because of privacy? That's nauseating to me.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Now, I see him 15th, 16th, somewhere in that ballpark, and I think that makes sense, Donnie. I don't see him in the top 10. I really don't. I mean, when you look at, let's say, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, you start going into that, teams like the Cowboys or the Vikings or the Chiefs, and, could they take a flyer?
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
The Combat Sports Report has begun. I am Gabriel Morency on the grid. Let's do this thing. We got an awesome show lined up for you once again this week. We got some cool videos of the week. We got some UFC best bets. We got a badass BKFC fighter on the program. We got all kinds of cool stuff to break down over the next hour. So let's ring the bell and let's do this thing. Without further ado, let's bring in our first guest of the evening, BKFC lightweight contender, a man who just improved to an impressive 5-1 record. Unanimous decision victory on Saturday in Denver over an old school OG and Elvin Brito. Ramiro Figueroa in the house. Ramiro, thanks a lot for taking the time to be with us, man. Congratulations, bro. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you always having me on, and blessed to be here.
Hey, listen, man, we have fighters on a weekly basis from BKFC, and every one of them, bro, always has cast on. They always have, their face is always messed up. They're always wearing sunglasses and stuff. I got to say, man, you always look good after your fights. Once again, looking pretty good. How you feeling?
Good. I feel good. That's always the motto, is to hit and not get hit and not take much damage. I think I've only had one fight where, I got pretty cut up, and ever since then, I don't want that to happen again, so I'm here, and I got to do what I got to do to come out victorious and clean.
Yeah, it seems to be one of the biggest aspects of your game right now. Do you see the frustration in your opponents when they're trying to hit you? Like, at what point in a fight do you realize, like, yeah, I can tell this guy's getting frustrated, that he can't connect as much as he wants? Like, to put in context, Brito threw 171 punches, bro. He only landed 96 of them. That's a lot of swinging and missing. It's got to be frustrating.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love being able to see everything. Once I see everything, everything comes in slow motion to me, you know. And I'm in there picking my shots. I'm not in there throwing crazy punches and bunches, trying to land and hope they land. You know, normally the things I throw are most likely going to land. Once I see everything, everything comes out pretty clean.
As fight fans, man, like, we don't have that twitch that you guys have to see things. So you just talked about it slowing down. It seems like a blur. You got a dude, he's throwing bombs at you, but how quickly and how good are you at realizing, oh, this is what he's doing. This is the combo he keeps going to. Or, like, you know, okay, I know you know, a lot of fighters will telegraph what they do, and you seem to be really good at the counterattack, counter punching, and reading what your opponent's going to do.
Yeah, most definitely. A lot of that comes with studying the opponent before the fight. You know, with Alvin, we knew he was going to throw a lot of the same punches. And like I said, once that first round is over with, and I kind of start to adapt bit by bit, round by round, I start to see everything. Normally, that's not really something you can fully prepare for, but at my level, I believe, you know, just the experience plays a huge factor in this game. And like I said, once they make a mistake, I'm going to see it again every time it happens.
Now, you fought in Denver. I've always thought that sometimes it can backfire on a fighter. You've got friends, you've got family, you've got people that want tickets. And, you know, when you go on the road, it's a little bit more of a business trip at times. We see in sports, pro sports, teams will often perform better on the road. Do you like fighting at home compared to going on the road? Talk to me about, like, the differences. Do you enjoy fighting at home, and or do you like going on the road, going on a trip, and getting away from things as well?
I definitely like to fight out of state, especially when I'm B-side. I feel a different urge, a different motivation when I go to other people's hometowns.
So I was right then. Hey, you get a little bit of that extra business trip buzz going. Hey, when you go on the road?
Yeah. Yeah, and I get to lock in a little different. You know, I get to go out there a few days before and be like, you know what, this is really happening. I'm locked in. I'm in the hotel. But I also love fighting in my hometown, selling tickets, letting people know that, you know, people who went to school with me. I used to be that kid bringing a clear bag with boxing stuff to school, ready to go to practice after, you know, letting them know, like, look, it played off. I'm headlining a co-main event in my hometown on the biggest platform in the world. You know, it's definitely a win-win situation for both.
How much do you feel you understand this sport and this format of fighting now that you got 6 fights under your belt? Because, you know, you had numerous boxing. You know, you've been boxing your whole life. It's a little, you know, it's obviously different with the clinching, the bare knuckle stuff. How do you feel your growth is coming? Like, do you feel like, oh, yeah, man, I'm way better and I know way more than I did even like a year ago right now?
Yeah, it's way different. Every single fight I adapt and I learn more. Every single time I'm done fighting, I'm always like, man, I wish I could have done this better or that better. Oh, I should have done this. It's going to happen every single fight, but I feel like for only being in the bare knuckle industry and actually competing for about 2 years, I've accomplished so much, and I almost feel natural at it. You know, I don't feel like there's much to learn. But definitely that might change throughout every single fight. Anytime I change a different opponent that I haven't faced, it's definitely a great feeling, and I feel like I'm on top of the world right now with it.
I know you want to finish every opponent and stuff, but it's about, you know, getting into the wars. You're going to have to fight the OGs and sort of along the way knock off some dudes that have been there forever. But you talked about being critical of yourself. Do you want, you know, when do you watch the fight after? You watch it on like the Sunday to Monday? When do you just sit down and say, all right, I want to watch it? Because a lot of times when you're in the fight, you don't really remember everything, right? So when you watch it, how critical are you? Because it's tough to get a win, bro. A win is a win in a fight game, right? A win is a win. You move on. You survive in advance, so to speak. But how critical are you when you watch your fight tape after?
Yeah, I'm pretty hard on myself. And I would say it depends on the fight, you know. Like this one, I felt like I could have pressed the gas a little bit more. I could have been a little more aggressive knowing, I took his best hit and it did not affect me. But I'm always wanting to be safe in there. I'd rather go out there untouched and victorious as opposed to go in there and, go to war, come out all cut. If I could go in there and not get touched, that's exactly what I'm going to do because that's my game. That's where I'm best at. And I did get cut behind the ear, and that was because I fed into his game and I fought him in the clinch. And that's the only time I got cut. Other than that, I'm always going to stick to my game plan.
Man, the Denver scene and the Colorado scene's always been pretty vibrant, right? There's always been a great fight scene out there. How much of an advantage do you see when you're fighting in Colorado when guys that aren't there, maybe not used to the altitude as much, is it real? Do you look over and go, yeah, this guy's having a hard time breathing over here right now? The bigger dudes feel it worse, but how real is the altitude in MMA, in combat sports and in MMA?
I've never fully believed in it. I've always believed, like, if you train hard, the fights are going to be easy. But, Alvin Brito, for him coming from Puerto Rico, he came in pretty, for his age, I think he did great. He came out here and, went to try to go to war, try to wrestle with me, and I know that takes a lot of energy itself. So, for me, I've never really felt it. I've always believed, like, if my opponent's putting in the work, he's not going to get tired. Simple as that.
Now, you're not big on calling dudes out. You're in a stacked division. You just, line them up, and you're going to knock them down one by one. What should we expect next right now? When do you think you're going to fight again? Are there any potential opponents on the table? Has there been contact with the company already about what's next for you, man?
I was hoping this was a title eliminator. I mean, I fought a previous world champion contender. I just beat a former world champ, and I fought in 2 top 5s. So I believe I deserve that title shot, if not maybe another world champion. I know Tony Soto called me out, but I was calling him out when I first started when he was on a winning streak, and now he's on a losing streak. So I don't know if I really want to fight him because he's 0-3 these past few fights. I want to fight somebody with a winning record, but if I got to fight Tony Soto, then I'll go ahead and fight Tony Soto. I know that Rodney Hinton dude called me out, but even same thing with him. He's barely 2-0. I want to fight people with the name. But honestly, I don't care. Whoever they throw at me, they just got to send the contract, date, give me enough time to cut the weight, and I'm fighting. I don't care. I'm here to win. I'm here to be at the top. So, whatever it takes to be the champion, I'm going to do it.
Hey, congratulations on another great performance, my man. Always love catching up with you. Thanks for the time, my man.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
There's Ramiro Figueroa with us, coming off a great performance, now 5-1. Combat Sports Report continues. Bring it. They do nothing fancy, the Philadelphia Flyers. There's nothing like, oh my God, like, they basically, Kevin, can hand you their playbook before the game. Like, seriously. They can say, yeah, this is what we're going to do. These are our lines, and this is how we're going to match up against you. You know it. You know what I mean? And you know it. There's nothing you can do about it.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
The New York Knickerbockers are NBA champions. Da 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 da. Canyon of Heroes, parade, convertibles, hot chicks in Knick jerseys. The Knicks finally get over the hump and win an NBA title. And there's me, and there's Jalen Brunson.
The Craig Carden Show, only on SportsGrid.
Get it, man. Maybe this is more of a Kalshi poly market conversation to jump in on the prediction markets, but to me, this is the spot that I would roll with the Rays, man. I think they're undervalued every year, and I think they're undervalued this year again. Look, the Yankees should be the favorite. They're the best team on paper. Baltimore, Toronto, and Boston? Are they that much better than Tampa Bay? What am I missing here?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Do you think technology and those earpieces, again, when it comes to the development of the quarterbacks, is hurt the game?
The development of the quarterback position is getting worse and worse and worse because you don't see live action, you don't get game time experience, and you're going to have to develop in a slower way. And to me, if you don't have the people around you, it's going to be a tough road to be able to play the game.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Combat Sports Report continues. I am Gabriel Morency. Tom Safino will step up and in. We'll get into some UFC best bets as we're back to the Apex in Las Vegas this week. But I almost feel like we have a weekly Armin Sarkisian update on a weekly basis on this program. I mean, this guy is online more than the actual internet itself is. Like, if you want to talk about like someone just living his life online 24/7, it seems to me he does everything except actually fight, right? Except actually fight. Now, I'm not into all this social media influencer crap and Nina drama and all this other stuff. Like, I wouldn't be able to pick him out of a lineup if you offer me like $20 million. But this dude lives in this world, and I guess he's got like super rich parents, right? It's not like he's earned a ton of money fighting or anything like that. The guy barely ever fights. Now, he does seem to be pretty awesome. I'll give him that at wrestling. Taporia basically said, stick with the RAF stuff because I'll smash your face in a real fight. I liked what Faber said last week about, you know, you're not really rich, right? Your daddy is rich. But so it was quite the week last week, and it started off with Armin getting kicked off of a plane.
I gotta tell everybody.
Yeah, we did.
Weird. So I am sorry we cannot fly because I was sitting on the bar seat. I gotta tell everybody.
Yeah, we did.
I gotta tell where I'm. Okay, I cannot be tomorrow there. Sorry, guys. So now it's gonna be. I hope they're not gonna kick me out from this plane. Okay, guys, I'll be in 5 hours in Philadelphia.
Bro, let me sleep.
All right, so he gets kicked off the plane only to take his own private plane after the fact. But I just like that forget about like MMA fighters or like how tough you are and stuff. Nobody brings it. Nobody's going to bring it like a flight attendant. Let's just call it out for it. Like, she wasn't having it. She's like, you got to get off the plane. You got to, I don't care. She's like, no. You got to get off the plane. I'm sure there's like people sitting on the plane thinking, oh my God, this guy's some sort of terrorist or something. But like I said, the dude can't go like a day without, you know, some sort of incident happening. Although I got to say, it is good content. So, of course, he fought, wrestled, took on Uriah Faber. All right, so Uriah Faber's like 40, going on 47 years old right now. So it was a tough matchup for him to begin with, yet I don't think he expected, and let me just bring up, the last time in RAF with Armin, remember, it turned into an all-out brawl because he's punching people in the face, and it's getting over the top and stuff. Like, this RAF stuff is insane. So this is Armin and Uriah Faber. Like, you think like the UFC and BKFC is insane. Check out what they're doing at RFA Wrestling right now.
Give Faber a second life here. On his feet, looking arms right, Sarukian looking, whoa! Oh my gosh!
Shit. Whoa. And these guys are off the stage and onto the concrete.
You all right? Sorry. I would have tried to catch you. I gotta tell you, I didn't even see him coming. I was watching the monitor. They went right over my shoulder.
I'm so glad I'm sitting here and not where you were, Joe.
I was sleeping on that one.
I thought you were dead.
Kurt, I was sleeping. I told Uriah, hey, I'm sorry. I should have tried to catch you.
This chair? There's a steel chair over here that is done. It is
annihilated.
All bent up.
They literally.
That's some like WWE stuff. Now I'm thinking like, man, what kind of psychopath are you? And that's like seriously, like, what are you, a psychopath? Yet Uriah Faber actually thanked him after. Uriah Faber said, and it's a true story. Uriah Faber said, I've actually had a bad back for the last couple of weeks, and I landed right on the cement, and my back feels a lot better right now, so I want to thank him. He wasn't mad. That's Uriah Faber. Like, he wasn't mad. He said, this guy likes going viral, and he likes having internet moments and stuff. So he goes, I guess we had an internet moment there. But he goes, my back actually feels better. And I got to tell you, I've met, pretty much everybody in this business over the years. Especially, not the newer dudes. I never met Armin, etc., because I'm not a social media influencer going to pay him $40K to show up and hang out with me, right? Man, these people are losers. But with that being stated, see, Uriah Faber literally is one of the funniest and coolest dudes. And we were live at Mandalay Bay, I don't know, it was like UFC 100, I think. And we basically had everybody on. We were doing the show at the sports book there all week, and we had everybody on. And Uriah Faber had 2 casts, literally. He had 2 casts, both of his arms. He had 2 casts on. And I'm like, what the hell? You got 2 casts on? He's like, yeah, man. He goes, a crazy story. He goes, on the way here, I was at the airport in Sacramento, and I was driving to the airport. And he goes, I tried to open a Gatorade bottle with my chin because I'm driving with the cast. So he goes, I got the cast on the steering wheel. He goes, I got a Gatorade bottle with my chin and my shoulder. And he goes, I'm trying to open a Gatorade bottle. And he goes, there's a fender bender. He bumped into someone in front of him. And he gets out. He's got 2 casts on. He's a smaller dude. And there's this big dude gets out of a pickup truck and goes, I'm going to F you up and stuff like that. And Uriah Faber's like, I'm sorry, bro. It's an accident. It's no big deal. And he goes, you're dead. I don't care. You got a cast. He's getting in his face. And all this traffic stops and stuff. And people are like, kill him, Faber. Get him, champ. And then Buddy goes, he goes, you're that UFC fighter that lives here, huh? He goes, yeah. He goes, F you. And he gets in his car and he pulls off. But I just wish I had video of Uriah Faber. I wish I had video of Uriah Faber in his car trying to open a Gatorade with his chin with 2 broken arms and 2 casts on his arms. So I'm not surprised he said thank you for getting slammed on the cement. Combat Sports Report continues. I am Gabriel Morency. I want to talk a little bit about the UFC Winnipeg card that just went down over the weekend. I don't like living in the past too much, but there were a couple of interesting storylines that came out and developed from the card. Let's start off with the main event and Mike Malott. So Mike Malott gets it done once again, and we talked about this last week. Can he take that next step now? Right? Because let's be real. Mike Malott, he's 7-1 now in the UFC, so it's been a nice run for Proper. It's been a nice run for him, but he's always fighting in Canada, right? He's always fighting in Canada. He's always sort of, the favorite and or is close to a pick'em. Now, I'm not saying he's fought in like cream puffs and tomato cans because, Gilbert Burns is the real deal, albeit a retired Gilbert Burns right now, as Gilbert Burns has decided to hang it up after losing again to Malott. He's going to become an MMA manager, he says now. But we all know when people said they're never fighting again, right? So we'll take that. But it is what it is. But can he take that next step and become a real contender? And start going on the road to other venues and real cards, pay-per-views, and beat top fighters. Right? He lost to Neil Magny. He beats Gilbert Burns. So he still has a lot of work to do, but it's been a nice run for him. And for those of you that are unaware of this, that if you're a hockey fan, if you're a diehard hockey fan, you already know this, but Mike Malott's brother is actually on the Los Angeles Kings. Jeff Malott, defenseman. 6'5", 208 pounds. 6'5", 208 pounds. As they're the ultimate Canadian, the ultimate Canadian family. All they're missing actually is a brother who plays lacrosse. Then it's like the Canadian hat trick. All right, we've got a UFC fighter in the family. We got a 6'5" defenseman, National Hockey League defenseman in the family. All that's missing really is like a psychotic, the crazier brother that like plays lacrosse, because the lacrosse players are nuts. Like the box lacrosse, the indoor lacrosse stuff is like absolutely insane. The outdoor stuff is a little bit different, but yeah, quite the family. But the big story of Malott after is, so he came in with the Canadian flag, and evidently, this is so stupid. You're allowed to enter the cage with a flag of your country. All right, so you can walk in, you're gonna have the flag, whatever. You're not allowed the flag in the cage after the fight. Yeah, well, whatever, right? You know what I mean? It's supposedly it's for that the sponsors get highlighted the most and not the flag that's taking up the camera and covering things up. And I don't know, it's ridiculously stupid. Let's call it out for what it is. Dana White said recently, I don't care about that stuff. That's stupid. And he said, that's stupid. I don't care if anybody has a flag after the fight. Well, we all saw Mike Malott started waving a Canadian flag and it got ripped out of his hand immediately. And I wasn't insulted by it at first, because I was like, yeah, they have some dumb rule or whatever. But he wasn't in the cage after. He was on top, and he said like they had attitude about it, like that someone like ripped it out. It wasn't like, oh, hey, dude, you can't do that. Like, you know what I mean? It was like, no, they ripped the flag out of his hand. Like, he wasn't happy for real about it. And I don't know, it's just ridiculously stupid. And you have to ask yourself, do you really believe that they would rip an American flag out of a fighter's hand after? So that's to me, that's what's just sort of like, all right, so what's the deal? Like, so only one country's allowed to wave flags after they win a fight? Is that what we're doing now? I mean, I think it's a fair question. And it's also a fair question that's being asked by Karine Silva about what the hell did Jasmine take in between rounds? There's no disputing it. Like, there's photos. We've seen it. Like, listen, I was on Jasmine, but she definitely popped something, right? And people are saying it's one of those Zins nicotine pouches. And I got to be honest with you. I've been around the UFC forever. I didn't realize they weren't allowed even drinking coffee. They don't get tested for it, but they have their eye up for like energy drinks and coffee and stuff. You can't crunch a nicotine pouch in the middle of a fight. You're not allowed doing that, but whatever. If you bet on Jasmine, even if they overturned it now, it's too late. We've already been paid. It is what it is. The Combat Sports Report continues.
An initial statement where he said it was laughable.
Laughable.
Now, had he just been quiet then, talk to a professional, but this is how I know it was his hubris that makes them do that statement.
It's either his hubris or it's a lousy job by the crisis management PR firm that has tried to lead him and the Patriots through all of it.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
By setting the play-in up like this, what the NBA is letting everybody know is that the back-to-backs are completely unacceptable and the worst thing about their schedule. And these fools,
now they give them 3 days off for one game. Yeah.
They're so scared of back-to-backs. They go, not even in the play-in could we dream of giving anybody a back-to-back.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
We're seeing as sports betting is continuing to rise, that some of the potential issues around it are rising too. And these companies are having to deal with that. You have several lawmakers have introduced bills across states in Congress to potentially curb some of the problematic activity. In some cases, like in Ohio, we talked about last week, to potentially end online sports betting.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
The level of involvement with the government and the universities is just absolutely hilarious. You got nothing else going that you got to be this involved here across the board? I do not get it, Donnie. I really don't. But that just goes to show you how much it means here to certain individuals in politics.